Welcome to another one of my videos, and today we're talking about Dbdr. That stands for Dead by Daylight Rant, right? And in a previous video on I Hate the Black Pill, I talked about him, but I called him the wrong name. I think it was BRDR is what I said, but point still stands. I hate the black pill, but Dbdr is the prime example why. Now, let's go into Dbdr. Now, I don't know what he looks like, so I can't give a genuine assessment whether or not it's his looks controlling his dating life, but judging by the characters of which he used to represent himself, he doesn't think very highly of himself. Now, that first off is an issue, right? If you have issues with your own self-image to the extent of which you're actively consumed by the fact that you aren't the prettiest looking person, that's already an issue, right? If you have terrible self-image, you have terrible confidence, and if you have terrible confidence, you exude this aura of negativity, right? That's the best way I can put it. And I know from experience, if you lack confidence, if you hate yourself, people will pick up on that, right? So, getting even further in, now from looks will only get you so far, right? And looks only matter so much. Not that they don't matter at all, no. Especially in this day and age, most women don't know what to look for. So they look for the prettiest looking guy, or the richest guy. And those are their two options from what social media and the media in general has told them to do. Find the prettiest or find the richest. And if you find the richest, fuck the prettiest, right? That's what society tells them. Or not society, the media. Because the media is not society. And we must separate the two, right? But Dbdr is persistently in the black pill mentality. There's not a single moment, or I assume there's not a single moment in his life in which he's not actively thinking about black pills, black pill ideology, or, bro, this is so brutal, bro. It's Jover, bro. It's Jover. But it dominates his thinking. 100%. This is why I personally believe that a lot of the red pill, black pill, blue pill, I think all this shit are memetic hazards, right? And I'm not coming up with some SCP wiki bullshit or some kind of spiritual, oh, the crystal ball tells me this, and tarot cards tell me that. None of that shit. Memetic hazards are a real thing. And essentially what a memetic hazard is a meme of sort, right? All memes are memetic hazards, right? And what they do is essentially trigger your brain to think of something, right? To connect dots, to go back to sources of information, right? So when I say the color blue or yellow, you'll think about blue or yellow respectively, right? And that's essentially what all memetic hazards are doing. They're triggering your brain to pull information, right? And what a lot of these black pills and red pill channels and all this shit, they're information hazards, right? All they do is put information in your brain, and they'll rewire and train your brain to always pull information, right? And to an extent, everything does that. But this isn't the same, right? Training your brain to, I don't know, play soccer, learn the rules of soccer, you could claim that's a memetic hazard in some level, but not really. You're training to do a sport or an activity. With memetic hazards, they tend to be more abstract, I guess. They tend to be more less involved. They're more in your head than they are in the body, right? Training your body to play a sport or to, I don't know, carve a wood, to cook, to clean, shit like that, right? You know, that's physically involved. Memetic hazards tend to be more up here, right, in the brain. And That's essentially what the black pill has done to Dbdr. At almost every single instance of his waking moments, he is pulling information about the black pill. And I'm not just making this up either. He has hundreds of videos, and I don't have the time to watch all of them, nor do I have the real desire to watch most of them, because the sheer negativity of this person is depressing. Right? I don't think there is a single positive video on this person's channel. And that's coming from somebody who makes a lot of negative videos himself. Right? But Dbdr is always judging people by their appearance. Always. At all times. And I'm not just saying everybody. I mean, or any, just select few. I mean everybody. He judges everybody. His family, his friends, complete fucking strangers, the people he works with. He judges everybody's physical appearance, right? And to some extent, we all do, right? Even I do it, but I do it on a more behavioral level on things that people can control rather than their actual physical appearance themselves. Like, when I'm judging somebody's appearance, I'm looking for fatherless behavior or something like that, especially in potential partners. I'm looking for excessive piercings, tattoos, excessive makeup, dyed hair, scarring, shit like that, right? The clothing they wear, more behavioral things, things that they can control, even down to the way that they speak. If a woman has a little girl voice, I can assume almost immediately that she was molested at a very young age. And if she still has that voice well into her 20s or 30s, I know very good and well that she did not, in fact, deal with that and get therapy. And I know that all that trauma is eventually going to come out on me in some way. Therefore, she is not a good partner for me, right? Now, with Dbdr, this is not the case. Dbdr is judging, like, how they actually look. Like not their clothes, not their behavior. I mean, him the behavior in some way, we all do, but, like, literally on how their body is built. He is obsessed with fucking hairlines, like 100%. Like even like in the thumbnail of his topic about religion, how he thinks that only Chads don't go to church and shit, right? And in the fucking thumbnails, he has, like, I don't know, it looks like a pope or some kind of bishop, and he's like, have faith and the believers shall have their hairlines restored and shit, right? This motherfucker's obsessed with appearance. And it's this obsession with appearance that has led to him losing his friends. Because in one of his videos, of which he took down, right? Not even one, many of his videos that he took down, he talked about his friends and his personal opinions about his friends. Now, he took these videos down before I even found his channel, right? So, I don't know the content of these videos, but from what he said himself, he's essentially judging their appearance and talking like, oh, this guy's gangly and shit, right? And one day he got drunk and he mentioned his channel to his friends. His friends found out about it, and they pretty much left him alone because guess what? People don't like it when you talk shit about them, right? Especially if it's untrue or completely unnecessary, right? So, in short, when it comes to Dbdr's social life, most of it's his own fault. Now, there comes a point where it isn't your fault anymore, right? Especially in today's day and age, society's failed young men, of course, 100%. I think Dbdr is like only about 2 or 3 years older than me. Society's failed young men entirely, 100%. There's no arguing that. That's fact, right? And there comes a point where it's not our fault, right? Why would most of us want to risk marrying a woman only for family court to take our children away from us and economically destroy us for the rest of our lives, right? And then send us to prison when we can't afford it, and then once we get out, oh, well, fuck you, we still can't afford it, because now we have it on a record that we've been to prison Or I don't think they send you to prison. I'm pretty sure they just send you to jail. But now that's on our record, so we're going to be less likely to find a decent job. So we're going to get fucked even more economically and sent back to jail, right? Why would any young man want to risk that? So the best way to play a rigged game is not to play at all. And once you realize that, dating and marriage is rigged now, you realize that, oh, whip-de-fucking-do, the economy's fucked, and the economy's rigged because these big corporations buy out the politicians, right? So they can make it harder for the little guy to make a business, right? So then once you realize the economy is fucked, you realize that there's no point playing a rigged game. So you quit. You ghost society, right? There comes a point where it's not your fault, is my point, right? But there also is a point where it is your fault. And I genuinely believe that Dbdr's, most of his wounds are self-inflicted. Now, his mother is neurotic, I believe some kind of sociopathy, right? A narcissist. And it is completely unenjoyable to be around. And I have experience in that, 100%. I know exactly what it's like to have a mother like that. Who's a helicopter parent, so worried that you're going to get fucking kidnapped, but doesn't do anything to actually, attempt to give you a decent social life, right? With my mother, in particular, granted, she wasn't always like this, and certain events happened that made her like this, but she was worried that my siblings and I would get kidnapped a lot, so there came a point where she just wouldn't let us play outside at all, right? So we'd be stuck playing video games and watching the YouTube and shit, right? Or just TV. And then my mother would start to complain, oh, all you do is play video games and watch YouTube, and she's like, where did I go wrong? Right? Shit like that, right? I get it 100% on how it's like to have a mother like that, who's overly neurotic, doesn't give you the love and affection that you needed as a kid. Granted, my mother, wasn't always like that. But I know what that's like, right? I understand completely. But ultimately, realizing that you have a problem and then attempting to fix a problem is how you fix a problem. Right? Dbdr is wallowing in his own misery. He has this eternal outsider complex in which he feels like he's a reject in all aspects. He's always judging people's physical appearance, and he has no confidence in himself or the things around him or the people around him. So he exudes this permanent aura of negativity. And then he makes these videos on a near weekly basis, exuding negativity. So, I don't think anybody but Dbdr has himself to blame. Yes, his mother essentially ruined his hopes for success, right? Yes, his family is probably degenerate. His uncle is a cuck. His dad is an alcoholic. So, yes, his surroundings weren't that great. But he knows he has a problem, but he's wallowing in misery instead of fixing it. There's not much I can do or give advice on, right? Except that I'm not saying this to be discouraging. I'm not saying this to put anybody down. I want people to stop allowing memetic hazards and these life-destroying ideologies. Stop allowing them to control you. It's absurd. When your thinking becomes mechanical, like you're a machine computing, where every single thing that you see in a person is some kind of data point or some kind of assessment of their character, right? To some extent, yes. Everything's an assessment of character, but whenever all you're doing with people is assessing them and their worth, instead of living in the moment and appreciating, God's fine work of art that is human, instead of forming connections with people, instead of forming a relationship with people, it is not a shock whenever people don't want to be around you. Overall, it is a sad sight to see. And there's not much that can be done except by Dbdr himself. And, again, I don't say this to be discouraging. I can wish the best for him, and I can wish the best for everybody listening. But that's really all I have to say. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, and subscribe. If you didn't enjoy the video, I guess tell me in the comments below. It's good for the algorithm.